Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. This week we're going to be taking a look at an IBM Thinkpad 380ED that I bought off of eBay for $29. It was sold as for parts untested, so I think it's time we unbox it and see whether it works. When this arrived, I didn't actually realize that it was the Thinkpad due to how heavy it was. The first thing that alarmed me was the fact that it was only sent wrapped in a single layer of bubble wrap with no cardboard to protect it whatsoever. So here we have the IBM Thinkpad 380ED. This is one hell of a hefty laptop. It's honestly really thick, and since there was basically no packaging, the corner got dented in pretty badly, but luckily I contacted the eBay seller and they were willing to give me a partial refund. So this laptop only ended up costing me $19. I think it's time we find a compatible charger and see whether it works. I found a power adapter with the right plug and a similar wattage to the laptop, and I tried it out. Flicking the power switch on the side resulted in it coming to life. Straight away I was greeted with two error messages, 161 and 163. Because of this, it wouldn't actually boot up. These are caused by the CMOS battery being dead, and as a result, there being a configuration error. Straight away I ordered some new CR1220 batteries from eBay, costing little over $1 each. In the meantime, I thought I would try simply removing the current CMOS battery and attempt to start up the laptop without one. After starting the laptop up again, I got the same errors. However, once I set the time and date, this time it surprisingly booted into Windows 95. That boot chime is simply music to my ears. It was at this time that I realized how bad the refresh rate of the display is. The mouse cursor is a blur as soon as it moves. It looks as if this is a fresh install of Windows 95, with a total of 32 megabytes of RAM. The screen has a resolution of 800 by 600, which was pretty decent for 1997. So it actually had a fresh install of Windows 95. This was actually pretty surprising, and I'm actually even more surprised that it actually worked, considering it had definitely been dropped in shipping, and it was sold as untested, which, if you know anything about laptops being sold on eBay, that generally means that they just don't work and the seller wants to make a bit of money. So let's actually clean it up, give it some TLC, see how good we can get it looking, and install a new CMOS battery. We will be sure to install some games and check out the pre-installed software later in the video. While this laptop definitely isn't what I'd call dirty, I feel like it's important to make any and every old laptop as sanitary as possible. The lid of this laptop was easy to clean, however I've noticed that the outer coating has started to peel off slightly. Next I cleaned the display surface with a microfiber cloth and some lens cleaner. I gently wiped the screen in a circular motion. Any excess residue will evaporate within seconds. I removed the pointer nub and rinsed it under some water. Once dry, I used a permanent marker to make it look like new again. The keys also definitely needed some cleaning, so I began using Q-tips sprayed with eucalyptus oil to get between the keys. This is the only black Intel Pentium sticker I've ever seen. Perhaps it was this color to match the laptop. I then used a damp cloth to clean up the keycaps and finally put the fresh looking pointer nub back in its rightful place. The rest of this laptop is fairly clean. I'll carefully remove this sticker on the side of the display. To finish it off, I'll wipe the rest of the surfaces off with a damp cloth. Now it's definitely looking a whole lot better. Thankfully, for such a thick laptop, it has a vast selection of ports, as well as both a tray-loading CD-ROM and a floppy drive. So, let's put in the new CMOS battery that just arrived. With the time and date set correctly, everything booted up fine. To start things off, I'm going to play some of my favorite DOS games. All of which would only run in a small window. I guess this display is not capable of scaling properly. Still, Commander Keen plays great, minus the motion blur when you move, which can be pretty distracting. Duke Nukem is the same story, playable, but quite nauseating while the background is scrolling. Next up, let's take a swing at Microsoft Golf. Since this game doesn't involve a lot of on-screen movement, it really works great. Definitely a fun and playable game on this laptop. Age of Empires 2 is also playable, although it definitely struggles somewhat, even on the lowest graphical settings. This brings back a lot of memories as I used to play Age of Empires 2 on an IBM Thinkpad 380ED back in 2006. Lastly, we're going to try Need for Speed Special Edition. Once again, the game maxes out at 640 by 480, and this screen cannot scale the image to fill the whole 800 by 600 display. The game actually runs great, and is definitely a fun racing game. Another thing I used to love was the 3D maze screensaver. The first time I saw the rat in the maze, I was actually genuinely scared. Among the pre-installed software is a demo reel of sorts, highlighting the features of this laptop.
Portability.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen anything so 90s before in my life. Unsurprisingly, the keyboard on this ThinkPad is excellent to type on. You're either going to love or hate using the pointing nub though. The laptop also features a contrast slider, which makes it very hard to get the screen looking good. In fact, this has to be one of the worst looking laptop displays I've ever come across. Aside from the damage that happened in shipping, this laptop is still very functional, and surprisingly fast considering it's nearly 22 years old. When I was a lot younger, I used to always be buying laptops like this from the local markets, and you never really knew whether they were going to work until you brought them home. So seeing this laptop running Windows 95 has brought back so many good memories to me, and I'm definitely going to hold on to it for many more years to come. So thanks for watching. If you've liked what you've seen, definitely feel free to leave a like, and if you want to see more, definitely consider subscribing. I'll see you in next week's video.